not just celebrities you've done readings for. You're also asked to investigating the enduring mystery of Hanging Rock. This is intriguing for so many Aussies. What can you tell us about that?
Wow. Okay, so I was invited to investigate that mystery, and when I went to the Hanging Rock, I picked up on so much history about the place and about the story, which a lot of people believe is fictional. I actually think that it was based on some truth, because I had the author of the novel communicating with me, and the journalist that was there actually was writing all the notes, as journalists do, and ended up going through archives from God knows what, and ended up finding matching things to what I said in my testimony, and said there is no doubt that that was the author that was talking to you, because there were things that weren't necessarily public. You'd have to go through some archive or whatever it was. And she said that was definitely the author. And the author said that she was a psychic and she was haunted by these visions. And she knew of this story about two girls that were abducted. So obviously fictional becomes the story, but it was based on truth.
All right, Harry, our viewers at home yelling at the screen say, ask him something. Okay, so let me ask you about...
There's a woman that is like really attached to this area. She keeps pointing. I see her like looking between the rocks and she's pointing and she's saying, but there's lots of people. There's lots of people. So there would have been a lot of people here. She keeps saying that she's emotional about this place. She's an older lady, actually, this woman. She feels very linked to where I'm standing for some reason. So I don't know if she actually was here or if she was linked to this spot. She keeps saying, I'm back. I'm back. She's definitely deceased, this woman. She loves this place. She says that it's like home. It's like my home. Psychic? She was psychic? Or she was a psychic? This might sound crazy, but I've got a woman that's talking to me that's saying that she's a psychic. And she's linked to this place, very much so. She's pointing at everyone with her. There's a lot of people who I think have passed away here, because she said that I'm not alone. She doesn't stand alone. Do people get sick? It's weird. I keep seeing people like come here that weren't sick but got sick. I don't know what that means. Like a sickness? I think a lot of people died here. And I think that there's a woman who is psychic who is linked to this place, but she didn't die here, but she's obsessed with it, or she's linked to it. She doesn't want to let the place go. She's saying that it's like my home, and people questioned her. I don't know who she is, but people questioned this woman. She knows things that she shouldn't know. That's why she's telling me she's psychic. She thinks that there was a crime committed here. So I believe that this woman knows a lot about the history of the place. I don't think that she died here, but she's linked to the place. And I can hear kids in my ear saying, come and play, come and play. And she is like running up to them as if she knows them, but I don't think she knows them. So I don't know what that means or who she is to the kids, but she's definitely linked to this place, but she didn't die here. But there are children that did die here, because I feel a tremendous amount of, to be honest with you, I feel a lot of death around here. And I think that there is a lot of mystery, obviously, around this place, but I think it's more than that. I think that this place carries energy, and the stories of this place, I don't think are exactly, I mean, this might be a big say, but I don't think they're actually exactly right. So I think that there was definitely some form of a crime committed here. And I don't know why, but I get like 18th century. I do pick up on something around 18th century. I see a lot of old clothes, old kind of look. And I see a lot of kids. I see a lot of kids. And it's interesting because I think kids still come here. So I think that this place contains childlike energy. And what's really interesting is when adults come here, and this is what this woman is telling me, when adults come here, they feel like they can get in touch with their playful side because there's so much childlike activity here. And I think that, and as I just looked there, I just saw a man that just ran past. It's so weird. I almost want to go to that rock over there. Just... I feel like something happened here. Like, and it's interesting because I see a face in that rock. And I think that this rock contains a lot of information. I know that sounds weird, but I think that there's a lot of, I think these rocks have seen a lot and they've experienced a lot and they know a lot. And I think that's why people like myself who are sensitive to energy feel a lot are in this place. There's a lot here. But there's a woman who is linked to this place. She didn't die here. She's very into it or part of it. And she knows a lot about it. And I don't think people believe her or believed her because she's deceased. I don't think a lot of people believed her, but she was telling a lot of truth. And I think that she suffered because maybe when she came out with things, it wasn't well received. She's saying that people are listening more now. I don't know what that means. People are listening more now. It could be probably because people are more accepting of what has happened here. Because she said that there's definitely things that did happen here. I feel that this woman knew, whether it was a true story or something that did happen here, there was definitely a crime. So I believe that. What's really interesting is I just saw caution tape in my head, which normally is a scene of a crime. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was either, I mean, this might sound crazy to some people, but I think either someone was murdered or abducted here. Because I don't think that there was nothing that happened. I think that there was a lot that happened. And people shied away from it. People didn't want to talk about it. It's really weird. It's really sad. I just heard a crying just then. I can hear crying. And I just can hear that woman that keeps talking. She's really vocal. It's like she's running up to this crying child. And she's like, I'll be here with you. I'll be here with you. She's comforting children, this woman. She's seeing a child that I don't think she knew her, but she knows her in the spirit world. And that child was linked here. So I don't know if that child actually passed here at this place. She's saying not where I'm standing though. So I don't think she died here, but there's definitely someone who did around here. She kept pointing up. She's like, we should run. I'm like, who are you? There's a lot of spirits. I mean, I thought it was originally just that one woman that was talking to me, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of conflicting people that don't actually know each other, but there's a lot of people that are talking. And I keep hearing come and play, come and play. I think that there was some form of intrigue or lure. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm being lured somewhere. And I don't know why, but I want to go up. I don't know what that means, but that's what I keep hearing. I feel like I'm being lured somewhere and I feel like I want to go up. And the woman who is an elder lady, she keeps saying, no, don't go there. So I don't know why she's saying that. And then the kids are like, haha, no, we want to go and play. But this woman is saying, don't go. This woman is saying, don't go. I really don't know who this woman is, but she's obsessed with this place. She won't leave it. I just said to her, why are you so linked to it? And she said, because it haunted me. She felt haunted. She felt haunted. So there's a woman that's linked to this place that felt haunted by either memories or the place. But the children, they're still here and they want to run. And it's funny because I still see children, but they're being lured somewhere. So they, I believe, followed someone to a place that there wasn't many people around them. So this place is very active with people. I think that where these children went was a different location, because I see pointing and I can hear we want to go that way and there's a lure. I actually think that there are, I keep seeing two men in my head. I don't know where they come into play, but I keep seeing men and I don't know why. But I think that there was some form of, I hate to say this, but I think that there was some form of foul play here, because I think that, and this woman keeps screaming, she's like, why wasn't I there? I think she was from a different era or a different time, because she's dressed differently to everyone else. So even though she's around the same spirit, she's dressed differently, and she wants to prevent what happened here from happening, because she feels that this place is such a special place. It's so filled with history and memory that I think that this place will forever be very sacred, and there are memories that will continue to live on here. And it's interesting because I think that even though something horrific happened here, in some weird way, I think it's done a lot of good. And that's what I keep hearing this woman saying, at least it's done good. But she's saying thank you to me for believing her. I just said, but I don't necessarily believe or not believe, I'm just listening to you. And she said, thank you for listening to me, because I'm not judging her. This woman would have been judged. So I feel like a lot of people judged whoever she is. And she's grateful that we're not judging her. And she's grateful that we're listening to her story.
When we first came here, I already had ideas, or I had already feelings about what this place was about. And I did know this is a sacred place. I felt that straight away. I didn't look up anything. I didn't try to look up anything. I basically have a way of speaking to spirit people, and I asked them if there was actually something that did happen here, even though I know that the story is something that she wrote, but something did happen here. But many things have happened here. There is so much war here. There's so much death here. There's so much other people that are taken here. Also, there are portals here, because I took the divining rods and I went to certain spots, and immediately when we first came up here all together, I took up off the hill and found the spot straight away. And even up at the summit, there is I think it's a portal that's up there. This place is very well looked after. There's trails, there's all kinds of, signs and that. But can you imagine 100 years ago, or 118 years ago, there's no trails, there's no signs. And even when I went all the way up and found the ley line, there's a ley line, the energy lines, when I found where they crossed up at a certain point, I came back down to see y'all, and I couldn't even find that point anymore. I couldn't even get back. So then I went back a different way, ended up finding this area up here. So this is a very, even when you're alone and you go up this place, it's very easy to get confused and lost and not know where you're going. It's very easy.
The feeling I experience in here is the high and low. As we come up with that disturbing type of energy, the very condensed, very dark matter, as we come up, was like a wave, was very light, very fluff, and really beautiful energy has flowed through the body. I could actually sense in my body, and my heart is beating really, really fast, and it's almost euphoric. It's a very euphoric feeling of being up here. Since what's happening here is if you look at all the rocks that were telling a story, it's very obvious. It's some battles, it's a lot of suffering, but there's a lot of joy in here as well. Because you can feel, I feel like a lot of celebration, children playing, celebration, but also feel like it's almost like I have a child and you take it away from me. Yeah, that's the feeling.
I picked up on a tremendous amount of energy here. It is so full of spirit activity and a lot of history, but I don't think all the history of this place is actually public knowledge, because I kept being shown visions and I kept hearing so many different spirits tell me things that I was very moved in such a way. I don't know anything about this place, but I know it's very special to so many people. But there is so much that is still here that I know that people, even of a skeptical nature, when they come here, they can feel. There is no doubt that there is a presence here. Actually, there's so many. My belief is that there's a lot of unfinished business here at Hanging Rock. The reason for that is I don't think that justice was ever served, because I actually believe a crime did occur here. And as sad as that sounds, I do believe that there was an abduction that took place here.
We had what they call a K2 meter, which was virtually going off scale, which tells us...
A K2 meter?
And that actually tells us what electromagnetic field. And there was a lot of that. There's a disruption, and that detects it, that sort of balances out to what it's sensing now.
Yeah,
and if that field's broken,
strong.
which tells us that there's something that's out of the norm that's moved across the path of it.
How would you interpret that?
Extremely active.
As far as the rock itself, there's a lot of iron in the rock, which can cause electromagnetic field as well. But there was areas like it's up in the red, and we were talking, and all of a sudden it just stopped, nothing, and then start up again, as if something's coming back towards it. So it's really strange.
We've done what we call an EVP, which is electronic voice phenomenon, where we use it's an app which has got a dictionary in it with certain words. And what happens, the spirits can actually manipulate that and make a full sentence. I asked the question, what are I standing on? And I got a response, rock. We asked other questions, we got a few names that come through. Also asked how many spirits were around, and it just kept on, every now and then we'd hear multi, so that we're sort of putting that down. That could be multiples or millions, we just don't know.
If I come here with your children now, I would make sure that your children stay with the parents, because it's very easy to lose them. If they start going up a rock in that, they might not, like I said, it's very confusing here. They might not find their parents to get down. Not the case of these girls in this story, based on actual accounts. Like I said, I don't believe that these girls were actually just disappeared. I believe that they were taken by someone, by men.
I believe that there were two men involved in this abduction, and I believe that they were known actually from around the area. So I think that whether this was a cover-up and it was kept very hush-hush, I do think that unfortunately for the victims, who I feel were quite innocent, I think that they were abducted by two men who are known.